Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Hotspur House. Today we are going to be going over the Newcastle game, the decisions made in it by the refs, by VAR, and then we'll go over some transfer rumors and preview the Chelsea game on Tuesday, as well as our final Europa League qualifying game on Thursday. Today I'm joined by Bodhi from thfc.house. What do you think of today?
I mean, do you have to ask me? It was probably the shittest performance from the ref I've ever seen ever. It was shambolic. Everything went towards Newcastle. I give the ref a second, kick him in the nuts, throw him out. So it was shocking. We overall played pretty well, in my opinion. We could have. It could have been another Southampton, but we didn't get to take the chances. Of course, of all players who had to get the game tie, had to be Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
It was a frustrating match, but I guess we have to just move on from it.
Yeah, and before we really go into critiquing VAR and the decisions made, I just wanted to say, first off, hats off to Newcastle's goalkeeper. I'm blanking on his name right now. It is Carl Darlow. He made 11 saves. That was an incredible performance from him. Unfortunately, he made quite a few saves. The Lo Celso free kick, and then the Harry Kane rebound, and the Lamella free kick.
And also the Lamella.
Yeah, he made a lot of saves, and unfortunate, but well done to him. And then I thought that this was actually the best game we've played all season. I know Southampton there hasn't been many games this season, but the Southampton game, we played really well in the second half, but our first half it wasn't at the same level. And then obviously against Everton, we lost, and we didn't play well at all. And then against Plovdiv, we played poorly for 80 minutes, and then we came to life and scored 2 goals. And then I don't think we played particularly well against FK Shkandia, I think that's how you say it. But I thought we played really, really well today. We were creating a lot of opportunities and opening up gaps and playing the ball through the lines to create opportunities for Harry Kane, for Son, for Lucas Moura. And it's just unfortunate that Carl Darlow had such a great game today. Really frustrating.
I mean, the Everton game, we didn't. I don't think we played trash on the Everton game. I think we were just outplayed. James Rodriguez carried the entire team in that game. Fair enough. What a signing. I think the best game we played was Southampton, but I have to agree with you on the first half. I think the first half we were pretty trash. This was one of those games that you dominate the whole thing, and then you just get stitched up at the end, and it's not great, but I guess that's how it is.
This tells the story of the game. 66% possession to Spurs and 23 total shots compared to Newcastle's 34% possession and 6 shots. I mean,
well, what was the on-target ratio?
We had 12 on target.
And Newcastle?
So we have 12 on target, 7 off target, and the rest were blocked. And then Newcastle had 1 shot on target, which was their goal.
Oh, that's taking the piss.
Yeah. Incredibly frustrating. But
something I think I'm frustrated at the amount of fans that blaming Dyer for the goal. It was not Dyer's fault. I think Dyer was the best defender in the team that game.
I thought our whole defense was actually pretty solid. I mean, Ben Davis, he made a few mistakes, but Sanchez and Doherty and
Doherty was solid. Doherty was solid. I didn't really see much from Sanchez, but I'm sure he was all right. Dyer was the main one in there. He has a target on his back.
Yeah.
Because how many other poor games he's played, people blame him for even the smallest thing when they forget that he's played amazing all the rest of the games. And
I think
Come on,
the thing I'll say.
How can you give that as a pen? He couldn't even see the ball, right? He was half a yard away from the player who headed it. I swear to God, this is going to be a new tactic where they get tall strikers up to just try and header it onto their hands, not even to score, just to get a pen.
Yeah, it's
so annoying.
So the only thing I'll say about Dyer and how it could have been his fault was about like 2 or 3 minutes earlier in the game, a very similar situation happened, but it hit like Dyer's shoulder. And so I think that he should have like kind of adjusted and like realized like, oh, I got lucky there. I got to keep my arms in a more like closer to my body. But I mean, it's to be about 20 minutes earlier in the game. I think it was around the 70th minute. We countered and Domblé had the ball and he put in across the cane, and it was gonna get there, but it hit Lascelles in the arm, and Lascelles had his arm relatively close to his body, but if it didn't hit his arm, it was gonna go to Kane and go in. So at the time, I was like, okay, it hit his arm. It wasn't deliberate, whatever. But then you can't give the same call against us if you're not gonna call it earlier. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's disgraceful, to be honest. I don't believe how poor the refereeing has gotten. I feel like every year we watch the Premier League, the refereeing gets worse and worse and worse. And VAR was supposed to help, but I think it's made it even worse than it was before. I mean, before you might get some offside calls that were a little off, but to be completely honest, I'd rather have some offside calls that are off, even if it goes against us. But like, it's become such a game of, oh wait, let's sit back and watch VAR for 3 minutes, decide whether or not it's a pen. Because I think that actual handball happened in the 94th minute, and then they scored it in the 97th. So it's so it's making the game more frustrating to watch than enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree.
So
But
it's in the 93rd minute was when VAR started reviewing it.
Diabolical. I think while we've just explained everything we hated about the game, I think we should look at some positives. Something I saw that I wasn't expecting is how well Winks and Hoybier played. I didn't think they would play as well as what they did, but
I agree. Before the game,
they pulled it through. I mean, usually from the previous games where they've played together with two of them in the midfield, they haven't been too good. In all fairness, though, Lo Celso was playing. I think Lo Celso had a big difference to make in it. The last time the two of them played together and Domblé was in, and Domblé lies a lot more deep, so the back three wasn't that stable. So I think a lot to have to do with it was Lo Celso, but I was pleased with
I agree.
the midfield.
Yeah, before the game, I actually said to my dad, I was watching it with him. I said, "Oh, Winks and Hoiberg, they don't play well together. I don't think this is gonna go well for us." But I thought they played very well. They were doing a good job of when we were in possession of like moving the ball from side to side and switching it and connecting the balls through the lines, which is something that normally only Lo Celso and Domblé are able to do for us. But Winks and Hoiberg, I noticed, were trying to find the ball through the lines to Kane, to Son, to Lucas Moura. And it's so unbelievably frustrating that the game went against us, because I thought we played so well. And Gareth Bale was obviously there and he was watching, and they showed his reaction to us scoring the first goal. I was hoping to see Reguilon make his debut today, but oh well, we'll probably see him on Tuesday, hopefully.
That was I think he made the wrong call with some of the substitutes. I honestly think. I know he wants to like rest Lo Celso and all, but I think he should have kept Lo Celso on for the full 90. At the end of the day, with Tottenham, don't have high hopes of a win unless you've scored 2 goals. If you're nicking a 1-0 and it's in the 80th minute, you should bet that that's going to finish as a draw or a 2-1 loss to us, because it.
I think that's a bit harsh. I think the subs made sense. I mean, I think we needed to bring Son off, and he was brought off for Bergwijn, and I thought Bergwijn played relatively well. And then was also he can't play 90 minutes every game, so I think Domblé had to come on. And then Eric Lamela for Lucas, I thought was another good sub. But it was just so disappointing to watch this game. And And then, of
Yeah.
course, we found out after the
When I
game
saw-
from Jose Mourinho
when
that
I
Son
saw-
Heung-min is out with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, that was pretty. That dropped the mood even more.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I saw Bergwijn come on for Son, I thought, Son's done so much, and it's only 1-0. If he wants to hang on to this, he would want a 2-0. He would want to go 2 goals up at least. So why would he sub off our best attacker in that moment for Steven Bergwijn? Like, don't get me wrong, he's good, but since the City game, I'm going to be completely honest, he hasn't really shown much.
Well, I think that's a bit harsh. His
Yeah,
goal
no,
against Manchester United was incredible. I thought he had a really nice assist into a Kane. I don't remember what game it's been in.
What else other than that? Like, yeah, these are good things, but like since the restart, we haven't seen enough from him for what he's done. Because I can tell you exactly what happens. He gets the ball when he's on the left side, he gets the ball, he cuts inside, and then he passes it back to wings. That's all I've seen him do. And it's frustrating because I know he can do so much more. I know it's a lack of confidence. I know that, but
I think it's also down to the amount of playing time he's getting. He's getting pushed behind Lucas Moura, and he'll probably get even less playing time with Bale coming in. But now that Son's injured, he'll probably have more opportunities because Lucas Moura doesn't play on the left as much unless Bale plays on the left when he gets back. But
now Bale will play on the right. Yeah, Bale's a left footer, so. But
yeah,
see that's the thing. Bergwijn, this is with Son injured. This is the time where Bergwijn needs to prove his worth. And to be honest, at this rate, if he carries on the way he's going, I'd go far enough to say that, he hasn't been worth the money we've paid for him. Because I know it's harsh. Yeah, I know, but that's so based on the small sparks we've seen from him when he's had the confidence. After he got the City game, he was on fire. He was doing everything right. Now, at the moment, he's realized the competition he has, and I think he's feeling a bit stressed about it, and it's affecting his game.
Well, okay, to be completely fair, Bergwijn has been here for less than a year still. I mean, I think he's performed unbelievably considering that he signed for us in January. I mean, Heung-min Son he did not have a good first year. I think he scored 3 or 4 goals for us in an entire season. I think Bergwijn scored 3 goals last year and after signing in January. And John Belay obviously did not have a good first season, but now he's working his way back into the team. So I think sometimes it's just going to take a while. He's still young. He's only 22, I think. He's 22. He's still young. He's younger than the majority of our squad. I think we just need to give him some time. I think he's going to develop into a really world-class player. I think he's well worth the money we paid for him. He just needs some time to settle into the team now. Now that he's finding out his role.
If there's any time for him to prove his worth, now would be the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he also has what did he sign? He signed a 5-year contract in January, so he has plenty of time to really adapt to the team. But it would be ideal if he could take to the new season like a duck to water. But now I'm gonna just the Newcastle call to get the free kick that led to the handball that led to the goal was such an embarrassment. I mean, from the refs. I posted a video of it on my Instagram. It's Joelinton. He got the ball. He played it wide, and then he ran and jumped into Højbjerg, and they both fell, and the ref wasn't even looking. And then he called the foul for Newcastle because he saw them both on the floor.
Yeah,
and how VAR doesn't.
It pissed me off because it pissed me off because how you how many free kicks could I get if I pushed someone over and then got the foul for it?
Yeah, it's
no joke. He came up to Højbjerg. Højbjerg went for the header, right? He just jumped up normally. Joelinton came from behind and pushed him over, and then they got the free kick.
It's
it's not fair.
so frustrating. Yeah, it's not.
On my after the match post on Instagram, I've had so many people. I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm a joke for me posting this whole, trying to spread this whole hashtag VAR out.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
I posted quit VAR on my post as well, and I don't think it's making the game more enjoyable for anyone, even if it goes for your side. I mean, Steve Bruce, after the game, I watched his interview, and he was saying, yeah, VAR was good for us today, but to be completely honest with you, I don't think that should have been a handball. I think he said that he thought Roy Hodgson was spot on yesterday when he said that it was that we need to get together as managers and as clubs and really figure out how to make this better, because it's making the game less enjoyable to watch. I'm sure it's making the game less enjoyable to play and to manage and to watch as the coaches. But it's just so frustrating because we played so well, and obviously there's just frustrating days where the keeper is fantastic, and credit to Carl Darlow, as I said earlier. But we got our goal. We managed to break through, and then to have Son go off injured at half, like that's so unlucky. And then to have the free kick that was given to Newcastle wrongly, and then to have the handball that shouldn't have been called based off the Dombele cross that wasn't called earlier. It's so unbelievably frustrating as a Spurs fan, and these 2 points could be costly in our hunt for Champions League, for top three. It's so hard to get momentum in this league, and when you finally get a win, or when you should be getting a win, and then VAR nabs it from you 97 minutes in, it's just unbelievable.
It's funny because when VAR when it was first introduced to the Premier League, I thought, great, this is going to make the game so much more fair. It's going to make it's going to fix all the problems. I saw a post on ESPN showing what the table would have been like if we didn't have VAR, if the VAR decisions didn't intervene to the matches.
Uh-huh.
And my God, Spurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where were we? We finished 5th. We would have finished in the top 4. United would have finished about 8th.
We finished 6th actually, so that would have been even more of a increase.
Oh yeah, but the table was completely different. And it really shows how biased VAR is to specific teams, because VAR is run by EA.
Yeah.
FIFA is hugely incorporated into this, and FIFA has their favorites, especially United's the big one.
Mm-hmm. So just saying, going off of VAR, we've had 1, 2, 3, 5 games this season, and I'd say we've had 5 or let's just count Premier League games. We've had 3 Premier League games, and I'd say we've had 4 bad calls. In the Everton game, they took the free kick like 9, 8 to 10 meters farther forward than it should have been, and VAR didn't catch it. Then against Southampton, Romeo had a studs-up challenge against Højbjerg that should have been a red card, and it wasn't given. And then today against Newcastle, there was the foul that shouldn't have been given that led to the free kick, and then Dombele's cross that should have been awarded a handball. And so on a different day, if we were the lucky side, which, I mean, Spurs never are, we would have won the game 2-0.
Yeah.
It's so unbelievably frustrating to watch, and I can't believe how unlucky the life of a Spurs fan. This game summarizes what it's like to be a Spurs fan.
Well, at the end of the day, the game's over, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I guess we just have to try and move on and get results for the next ones.
Yeah. Moving on. Let's preview the Chelsea game. What kind of a lineup? How strong of a lineup do you think Jose Mourinho will name against Chelsea?
I think Jose will go all out.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, this is more of a, although it's a cup game, I feel like this is more of a game where Jose will be analyzing rather than playing the strongest team.
Mm-hmm.
Because, this is a cup game. This isn't the Premier League, and he'll want to prepare for teams like Chelsea. So he's going to take every opportunity he gets. And if there's a cup game where we're facing a top 6 team, he'll analyze them while he has the chance. So then he doesn't have to for the first Premier League game.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a fair point.
I think he's.
Do you think we'll see Reguilon make his debut on Tuesday?
Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
I think this is all subject to change, but I think we'll name a very similar lineup to the one we did today. Lloris in goal. I think there's a fair chance we'll see Reguilon start at left back. Then Dyer obviously is going to start in the middle. I think Alderweireld didn't play today, so he'll play on Tuesday. Doherty, I think, will play again at right back after Serge played on Thursday. And then midfield, I think, will be Højbjerg. I think Ndombele will start, given that Lo Celso played most of the game today. And then I'm trying to figure out who I think will start alongside those two in midfield. I think maybe Sissoko. Sissoko hasn't played a game in a while. I could see him stepping in, but he might name Lo Celso to the starting lineup too, or maybe even Winks.
There's rumors saying Sissoko leaving to Inter Milan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to be completely honest, I wouldn't mind that. I think Sissoko was a great player for us, but I think he doesn't have the touch and the quality on the ball to remain as a central player to the squad anymore.
Yeah.
And he never really had the touch to begin with, but his work ethic was just incredible, which is why I think we had him for so long. But I think it's time that we need players that are good off the ball, have good work ethic, and are good on the ball. And I love Sissoko, but I think it might be time for him to move on.
When Ndombele came on, I saw a lot of positive about what he'd done. When Newcastle, one of the chances they had when they were hitting on the counter-attack, there was only one centre-back. There was Doherty and there was Davies. When the centre-back was pulled out and there was a huge gap missing, and Ndombele was the quickest player on the pitch and managed to get back in time and cleared the ball. And I thought, that's the quickest I've ever seen him run.
Yeah, I thought he was really progressive, and when he got the ball, like we said, he's great on the ball and he was making passes. But I think Jose Mourinho, brilliantly was able to pull out this Ndombele that is one of the hardest workers on the field. He was making all of these runs. He was playing the ball, and maybe it was just because he had fresh legs and everyone else was getting a little tired. But he was making a lot of runs and he was trying to get open, and it's something that we didn't see from him last season, even at the beginning with Pochettino. So I think he has a bright future at Spurs, and I'm hoping that he's here to stay for quite a while.
So am I.
Getting on with my lineup for Chelsea, I think that Bergwijn will step in for Son, and then we'll have Lucas Moura presumably still on the right, and Harry Kane up top. But we really need to bring in another striker, as Harry Kane. We can't have him playing every game, and especially now that Son's out. If Harry Kane gets injured, we're going to have another run like we did last year where we lose 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 games in a row. And if we really want to be pushing for titles, we can't have that.
I see the thing is, no, this is so ambitious, and I think it's going to be completely wrong. But I have a tiny feeling we're going to play at 5 at the back.
You think we're going to go 5 at the back?
Well, what was that?
Sorry, you said you think we're going to go 5 at the back?
Yeah, I have a tiny feeling we're going to play at a 5 at the back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Lloris, Alderweireld, Sanchez, and Dyer.
Actually, that would make sense to me because Reguilon and Doherty are more wing backs than left back and right back. And like I was saying earlier, I wasn't quite sure who would play alongside Højbjerg and Ndombele in midfield. So that would actually make a lot of sense because then we would have more strength in the back, and then that would really free Doherty and Reguilon to push up and create opportunities from out wide, and give Bergwijn and Lucas and Kane more space in the middle to work with.
Yeah, I think we're going to do 5 at the back. Lloris, Alderweireld, Dyer, Sanchez, Doherty, Reguilon. I think we're going to have we're gonna have Bergwijn, Lamella, Kane, and then Højbjerg and Lo Celso.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you think we're gonna start with Lo Celso, not Dombele?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I think Dombele will start the game, and then Lo Celso will come on probably in around the 60th minute, just to rest, just to give them both a little bit of rest, because we have Thursday's game still, and I'm sure at least one of them will be playing in that game, and then the other one will be playing in the game against Manchester United on Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll preview that on our next podcast, though. But I can't believe how unlucky we were today. But Thursday's game, we play FK. No, sorry, we already played FK. We play another Europa League qualifying game. How confident are you that we will go through and play in the Europa League this season? Fairly confident, I'd assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's really expected, but I mean, you never know. It's Spurs, and
yeah, we do need to. I think it's been very, very smart from Jose Mourinho that we're taking these games so seriously, because they've been actually much, much closer than I was anticipating. But yeah, I mean, we should win this one. Theoretically we should win it comfortably, but as we've seen from the other two games, it won't be quite as comfortable. But the good news is this one is at home, and it's going to be in White Hart Lane. And the other two, we've had to travel to Bulgaria and wherever FK Shkendia are from. We had to go there as well. So, I mean, we've gone on a run of we've gone 5 games unbeaten, which, I mean, including the Leyton Orient game, which, I mean, I guess really shouldn't count. But 4 games unbeaten.
yeah, N17 Nation has just responded.
Yeah, I just saw.
He thought it was at 8.
Yeah.
And okay, well.
So back to the Chelsea game. I think that if we win this game against Chelsea, we have a great chance to play to win the EFL Cup, because this is the round of 16. So we win this game, we win the next game, and then we're in the semifinals. So I don't see why we can't. I think we can beat anyone in the league on our day, and Liverpool clearly don't want to be in these cup competitions. So I think that they'll be out fairly soon, and then we'll be set to really just go after it and win it. And I think we should. I think it's very important. I think it could be a huge morale booster to win. I think the final's typically in March, so it'd be a huge morale booster in March to win the cup, and then go on and really push to win either the FA Cup or the Europa League or both. Realistically, I don't think we'll be pushing for the Premier League this season, but who knows? It could just be a confidence booster to really help us with the top 4, or maybe even to try to push to get in the top 2, top 3.
Yeah, well, let's just hope we get the result.
Yeah, I think we could get the result. It's Chelsea haven't looked particularly strong, if I'm being honest. They lost against Liverpool in what was an unconvincing display, and then they haven't been particularly good, I don't think, in their last few games either. They tied West Brom yesterday 3-3. I mean, they showed good spirit to come back from 3-0 down, but still, I mean, it's West Brom. That they shouldn't have gone down 3-0.
Yeah.
And then they beat Barnsley 6-0, but I mean, that's Barnsley. So I think that they'll have a point to prove that they're that loss against, or that draw against West Brom isn't who they are. But I think we should be able to get past them. And I don't know how seriously they're taking their competitions. Their lineup against Barnsley was fairly strong. I mean, there was definitely some rotation. They started Wilfred Caballero. I don't know if he's their starting goalkeeper now. They've decided to bench Kepa. But they started with Hudson-Odoi on the right and Mason Mount on the left, and Tammy Abraham on the top instead of Werner. And Hudson-Odoi doesn't seem to have much end product, so if he starts, I wouldn't be particularly worried about him. But
yeah, surprisingly, for the money they spent, they haven't been doing very well. So
no, but I mean I think they'll later in the season, after their new attackers have really started to play well together, they'll be more convincing than they have been so far. But it'll be an interesting one. I'll be watching. I'll be trying to watch if there is a way to watch in America. But
yeah. What about the Skriniar rumors?
yeah, I'd love to sign Skriniar. It's looking less likely that it's going to happen now, but I'd be very happy with Daniel Levy if he managed to pull it off. Because we could really use an extra center back at the moment, I think.
To be completely honest with you, I would have rather to sign Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, I think the Ruben Diaz one was just we didn't have the money to spend on him. I think we were counting on being able to spend a little less on Skriniar, and Skriniar is also a lot younger, so we'll have him in the squad for longer. And I think we wanted more of a long-term solution because we already have Alderweireld, who is fairly getting up there. He's 31, I believe, so he probably won't be at the club for too much longer. But one player I'm really looking forward to seeing is Yafet Sengenga, or Jafet. He played a few games last season, and he was one of our best defenders. And I think, depending on if we sign Skriniar, he could be in our starting lineup. Realistically, Dyer's going to be starting, so it could be Tanganga and Dyer who end up playing a lot of our games. But
Dyer's had Tanganga has been injured, so that's why I wasn't being playing.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to him coming back and having a role in the squad. And I think he's one of our best defenders at the club in terms of just defending, not necessarily going forward. But I mean, he had that run against Middlesbrough that I remember. That was in like the 90th minute, and he took off down the line as he was playing right back and got an across that we should have scored off of, but we didn't at the time. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing more of him.
Yeah, so am I. I think he's really promising. He's strong. He's quick. He's our most how do you pronounce it?
Energetic?
Well, our most athletic player.
Oh, yeah.
Athletic defender, at least, on the team.
Yeah.
He's strong. He's quick. He's the whole package for a defender. Not to mention he's young. It's just he hasn't had enough games to get his name properly out there. But
yeah, he was really unlucky last year with his injuries.
I think he's a top defender.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think he's gonna have a major role for Spurs in the future. He'll be playing a lot of games, I believe.
Yeah.
So, any other things that you want to go over? The Milik transfer, thing came out today saying that Milik has decided he doesn't want to play backup to Kane, so maybe more likely that he won't sign for us this summer.
I don't know. This whole striker situation, it's just too tough because it's really difficult to get a backup striker when you have Kane, who's one of the best in the world at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much impossible to get another quality striker that can do the same thing as him, but will be willing to play bench until he's injured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly though, I think it's really tough, but I think we need to sign if we're to sign a quality striker, we need to. You see, I really don't know. It's going to be tough to figure out the rotations. That's probably why the striker situation being dropped, basically. We haven't been linked with strikers that much because no one wants to come and join Tottenham when you have one of the best strikers in the world playing over.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but other top clubs they always have secondary strikers. I mean, Barcelona had Luis Suarez, who was definitely one of the best in the world, but they still had a secondary striker that they could bring in. And Liverpool, I mean, Firmino isn't the greatest, but they still have Divock Origi, and um, Aguero is fantastic for Man City, and they still managed to bring in Gabriel Jesus. So I think, I don't know what it is, but we definitely should be able to bring in a second striker, and we need to bring him in. We need to. It's not we should, but we really need to if we want to win anything soon.
Yeah, honestly, at the moment I could see Skriniar joining, but I couldn't see us getting us another forward until January. I think the forward thing is out the window, and there's not really anyone else we can go in for because we don't have the time. So I think Daniel Levy has probably told Jose that they need to drop the striker for now, go for the centre back, and then wait it out until January and make do with what they have. Because we have enough attackers to keep going. If Kane gets injured, we have Son. If Son gets injured, we can always stick Gareth Bale in. But we need a proper striker in the squad, and I think we'll be okay until January. But if we don't sign anyone in January, we're going to be in big trouble. So it's a must.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I don't really. There's not really much to talk about except just the fact how shocking the ref was. But yeah, it's a frustrating day for it to be a Spurs fan.
Mm-hmm.
But
like we always say, though, I mean, I still believe it's a good time to be a Spurs fan. I think we will win a trophy this season. I'm not sure what competition will come in. I think it might be the Carabao Cup, but I do think that we'll win a trophy, and I'm fairly confident that we will. And I believe in Jose Mourinho. I think he'll pull the best out of our squad.
yeah, me too.
All right. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Hotspur House.